I'm already live. Hey, I adjusted, but I don't even want to break it.
What you gotta do to
We'll just have it like this, bro. Get that shit up. Get you over with.
All right. Shalom, shalom.
carry
Keepers
on
of
that.
sheep.
All
All
right,
right.
myself.
Back on the highways and byways. Prophesying downfall of America, aka Babylon the Great. We are the Hebrew Israelites, prophesying to the Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, before we begin, we'd like to first start off by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, and Shalom to the hopefully elect.
Shalom, shalom.
All right, and today's camp title will be, real quick, 2026, the year of apostates, sellouts, and agents. And this is basically going off what the elder Apostle Tahar coined the year 2026. All right, and of course, 2025 revealed a lot through the Spirit, especially amongst Israel, the nation of Israel itself. All right, those who call themselves Israelites in this truth, man. And you know, 2026 is gonna reveal way more. That's why we, as men of the Lord willing for that number, we have to walk that narrow path. But I just want to touch on, before we dive too deep, I want to touch on how we got the word apostate. Somebody want to grab the definition? Kind of spirit. Apostates, and of course we know what sellout means, but if you got the apostate definition, you get it.
So I asked ChatGPT, right, what is apostates? It said apostates are people who abandon, renounce, or formally reject their religion, belief system, or cause they unfollowed. Simple definition: an apostate is someone who leaves their former faith or ideology.
So apostate is someone who was once on the same side as you. All right, who was once a brother, a former brother. All right, shalom. All right, somebody who you look, you might have looked up to him. All right, you might have broke bread with them, but eventually what? They lost the faith. All right, they lost the spirit, and it wasn't by their will. It was the will of the heavenly Father. That's why our Lord said, to paraphrase it, the deceiver is his. All right, and another word we have is sellouts. All right, so of course with 2026, we the top of 2026 right now. So eventually you're gonna have these men who sold out in 2025. They're gonna be looking for a bigger bag. All right, they're gonna be looking for, because right now these men are good off what? They good off the fame. They good off the lights. All right, views and attention. All right, but eventually they're gonna want more. All right, so with them wanting more, they're gonna have to do what? They're gonna have to give out more. Meaning they're gonna have to offer men up. All right, so we are approaching a time where men are gonna be betrayed. All right, men who you thought you would have never expected it from. All right, men who broke down that Esau was going to captivity. All right, who broke down the nations are like unto spittle to the Most High. These same men are going to give up brothers in the truth. All right, and it reminds me of the account with the Lord said, one of y'all shall betray me. All right, because we coming in a time where right now it's not revealed who's going to betray who. All right, because even the Lord Himself knew. All right, He knew Judas would do it, but He couldn't reveal it to Judas and the apostles. Why? Because He knew the apostles, the apostles, 12, they would get on Judas' ass. So if we knew who was going to do what, then that would spoil it. All right, that would spoil prophecy, and that would spoil the plans of the Most High. So we just have to do what? We have to watch, and we have to pray, and we have to examine ourselves along with other brothers, right?
Brothers ain't got nothing. We can pop it out with a couple of scriptures, right? Going into apostates, right? So can someone grab 1 Timothy 4:1 and 1 John 2:19, and I'll start off with Ecclesiastes 8:8. And this is just a quick precept on how he said it's not of their will, but who will is it of? Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, right? Of them falling out, right? So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 8. And it reads, there is no man that have power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death, and there is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. Right, so this backing up the brother y'all see it, right, that it's Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua that control all spirits, right? He control all things. So with that being said, no man have power over the spirit to be able to retain the spirit, right? If the Lord don't want you doing the works, hey, that's exactly what the Lord will have you doing, not doing the works, right? Because obviously it was us. We'll love to stay in the spirit 25-8, right? But we know how it's all a balance and all of the Lord's will. So with that being said,
quick point. Yeah. Understanding that it's the Lord's will, we can't be offended. Right? We can't be offended when brothers disappoint you, or when betrayal comes, or when you expect something. You can't expect anything from these people. Like just don't be offended, because the Lord Himself, he had opportunity to feel a type of way, but He didn't.
So whoever got that 1 Timothy, start off with that.
1 Timothy 2 and 4.
4 and 1. You can read down to verse 2.
God. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the later times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
So we was already saying this in 2025, but now that it's 2026, and we're saying how things are going on, this is only going to continue to increase, right? How people are going to depart from the faith, right? People are going to, start becoming scoffers and mockers and things of that such. Because that's mostly what happened when they fall out of the faith, or whatever the case may be. They end up going against the count or the doctrine they was going against, or they just completely fall off and return reprobate, right? So can you read that from the top again?
Verse 1. Now the Spirit speaking expressly that in the later times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
So people will even know, like for a prime example, that a brother that we once had an account, right, following up the GMS and things of that says, he went to fall off, right, and ultimately he gave up to those seducing spirits, right? Because those spirits can seduce you to back smoking weed, or whatever the case may be, falling after a different doctrine, how you think you're an African American again, whatever the case may be, however the Lord wants to deal with you, that's how the Lord's going to deal with you, right? You can't continue on.
Verse 2. Speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
So then they go about to speaking lies, right? Being turned over to a reprobate mind and things of that such, right? So
meaning, real quick, because a lot of brothers, they'll get up here, and rebuke the 2/3, like the brother said, turn around and do what? Same thing 2/3 doing.
Same thing 2/3 doing, man.
And the Lord Himself said he hated hypocrites, man.
And you got that 1 John. You can grab Acts 20 or 28.
Let me read this right quick, just because you said that. Matthew. This is Matthew 7:1. It says, "Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye beat, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thy own out. So like you said, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's just hypocritical. You know what I'm saying? You always focus on other things, but like I was with you before camp. That's why you gotta examine yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure that you're on your P's and Q's, because it's not a like a sin to judge another man, but you gotta do it righteously. And part of that doing it righteously, you gotta make sure you on your shit too. You know what I'm saying? But you said 1 John 2
And 19.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 19. It says they went out from us, but they were not of us.
You was talking on top.
Because it says they went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us.
So, they were made unsaying Shalom. They was unsaying right Yahweh. They were uns, right, of the ministry, right? But then what happened to them? It says they went out from us, but they were not of us, man. So this whole time you may be thinking, oh yeah, this brother mighty, or whatever the case may be. You might be thinking this brother was 10 toes, but the whole time he was never fully out of the world, right? But this whole time he was never fully believing in the doctrine, right? So therefore he fell out of the truth, or whatever the case may be, right? It say, for if they had been of us, they would not doubt have continued with us, right? So you would be enduring to the end with us, right, Lord, when we all endure to the end, but you would have stayed upon that straight and narrow path, right, and endured all the way to the end with us if you was all the way with us, right? He said, but they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us, right? So, the brothers ain't got nothing.
This is John 15:1. It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purges me, that it may bring forth more fruit. So like you said, every branch in him, right, that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. So there's some people, i.e. branches, that were in the fold, but they weren't bearing no fruit. So what? He taken them away. Right? They were never supposed to be along with us, period.
Let everybody get right. Shalom. Yahweh Shalom. All right, so everybody get right. Did you get that Acts?
We needed that.
Acts the 20th chapter, start at verse 28, and end at 30. You grab Matthew the 13th chapter and start at verse 20. And Naaman, you grab 2 Peter the 3rd chapter at verse 3. We'll start with this.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 28, and it reads, Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock, over the which the Holy Spirit hath made you overseers to feed the church of the Most High, which he hath persuaded with his own blood, or purchased, like it. 29, for I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also of your own self shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them.
All right, man. So this going back into apostates, right? And the last precept that we just read, which was 1 John 2 and 19, right? How they was among us, right? But they basically withered away, just to sum it all up, right? And, can you start back up at 29 for me?
Acts verse 20, chapter 20, verse 29. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock.
Verse 30 gave the point.
Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them.
So when these people fall away from these counts, imagine that, they basically try to go out and establish their own righteousness or establish their own doctrine, right? To what it say to speak and preserve things, say to draw away disciples after them, right? So then after they fall away from your camp, or the doctrine, whatever the case may be, they going out trying to preach their own doctrine, try to get their own disciples or their own group, right, to preach it to them, right? And ultimately, that's ultimately, that all leads into what the false prophets, right? The false teachers and things of that such, right? Brother, I got
Real fast. It says,
what is it? Knocking that truck. I can't hear you.
Matthew 7:15. Matthew 7:15 said, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves." There's precepts back over there. You gotta beware, man, because Yahushua called them hirelings. Right now, I read right here, John 10, real fast. Verse 11 says, "I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd gives his life for the sheep." Right? You know that Yahushua, he laid down for us. Right? According you follow Yahushua, ultimately you're gonna receive that everlasting life. But you have those apostates who came in, when he was resurrected, went to the Father, they came in overthrowing the faith. Talking about the resurrection already happened, the Savior already happened, all type of things. Overthrowing the faith of a lot of people. So Yahushua called them hirelings, right? Like the brother said, those type of men who will go out and deceive the people. Ultimately, it'll be a 2/3, and then deceive the people to have those 2/3 follow them, so they can have the disciples, their prophets under them, create their own doctrine, their own way, right? But in this series, they're getting exposed. Verse 12, it says, "But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep." Verse 13 says, "The hireling fleeth because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep." So those are those ones who, and to be the ones who understand the doctrine, taught in that same doctrine, and then they say no, and just go out of it, and that's what they're hirelings, man. They don't really care for the sheep. They lead them sheep straight to the slaughter, they lead them sheep straight to destruction, Lord, when that MOTV come out, they're gonna be the ones who try to say themselves, also try to make themselves, put themselves in a better position than other people. And for those 2/3 following them, but you're saying, if they elect among them, they'll come out from under them. But the rest of them, they're gonna follow them right to their destruction, man. They're gonna lead them right to the wolves, man.
We'll really see that true separation when the RFID chip becomes mandatory, right?
It's the book of Matthew chapter 13, and I started 18. It says, Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it.
I would.
Yeah, read to
Yeah, I feel definitely.
I didn't know if you had a point.
Yeah. Cause I was. You matter of fact, talk about the 19.
Verse 19. It says, I started 18 again. Matthew 13:18, it says, Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. Then is he which received seed by the wayside.
So, we've seen prime examples of that many times, right? Whether you're watching the elders counts, or right, even within us, right? Someone may come up, right, and then a family member or a friend might tell them, someone might come up to count, right, ask what y'all preaching, what y'all about, who y'all are, whatever the case may be. And while they curious, right, what it says, it say then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart, right? And wicked one, what they do? Oh, come on, we gotta go over here to do this and that, right? And what it say, that is he which receives seed by the wayside, so he can continue on.
verse 20, it says, "But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it."
So the one that received the seed in the stony places, right? He got the word, right? He received, he got the word, right? He received it, right? But let's continue on to see what happened to him.
It says, "Yet hath he not rooted himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, by and by he is offended."
And why was he offended? Because he was never rooted all the way in, right? And that just goes back to, what was that, 1 John 2:19? All right, when it says, if he was of us, he would continue with us, right? Just roughly paraphrasing, right? So you read that from the top, 21.
I'm gonna read those two verses.
Yeah.
So this is Matthew 13 and 20 in the NLT. It says, "The seed on the rocky soil represents those who hear the message and immediately receive it with joy. It says they don't have deep roots, they don't last long. They fall away as soon as they have problems or are persecuted for believing the Most High's word." God, so like you were saying, man, that's like because there's also a parable like Yahushua said, man, you know, a man who built his house upon a rock, right? Speaking of that foundation, right? Because when tribulation comes, it's easily blown away. They're not going to be able to be rooted in the faith. They're not going to have a strong foundation. That's why you have to be not to be repetitive, but that's why you have to be rooted in this truth, right? You have to have a strong grasp of everything that's going on. So when it comes to the prophecies, you have to be sure of what's going on, right? Because you're gonna have people who try to come up, because there's people who's real slick at the tongue, and so when you got people that come up with, like the little apologies on the Christianity side of things, they come and they be like, well, this says this and that says that, this and that. If you're not rooted in the scriptures, you're gonna be confounded because you don't know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're talking about. That also goes into that. You know what I'm saying? When tribulation comes, when problems come, you're gonna be tripped up. Those gonna be stumbling blocks into you because you're not rooted. You don't truly understand what's going on.
That goes to tell why most I told Ezekiel, eat the whole roll.
The whole thing.
Eat the whole roll because when you understood, when you eat the whole roll, you understand it. You're gonna have persecution, tribulation. You're gonna have hardship with being in the truth. Because how I was doing a piece of this by chapter, I think Matthew 10 with the chapter talks about how you're gonna be persecuted for my name's sake. You're gonna have all these things, and let's say the persecution right now ain't just people trying to kill you or come at you, but you're gonna have the, preacher like the brother brought out, over here, 2 Timothy 4:1, you're gonna have those seducing spirits. You got Satan trying to grab you and pull you away. And that's why you gotta be rooted all the way in, because when you rooted all the way in, I think I brought something yesterday, that goes into that 2 Corinthians 1:16 where you're being renewed day by day. Because once you study, you learn, you prepare yourself, it's just like you sport analogy, it's like sports. Now you're not gonna go into the game thinking you're gonna make all the plays. You never watch no film. You're not really gonna be hip to you're not gonna be hip to the formation. You're not gonna know what this player doing. You ain't gonna peep things such that if you watch film and you study, you would know. Well, when you study His word and truth, and you really rooted into it, then when these things come at you, the Spirit has already prepared you for them. The Spirit has already let you know that these things will come. And they gonna be rooted all the way in. So when these things come, even these apostates, when they come to these wrong doctrines, these people be double-minded. Double-minded means unstable. So you hearing this and hearing that the whole time, you don't know it's true because you're not rooted in. You're not really studying much yourself. They say study so thyself approves. How can somebody tell you mark the beast is not? They won't be true when it clearly tells you, it's gonna be implanted in you. What else can it be? Right? Some things are it's plain to the holy, but at the same time, you have these ones who try to make stumbling blocks. And Yahweh allowed them to make those stumbling blocks. That's why He allowed them just for it. He's gonna expose them as well, right? And He's gonna use them as an example for a lot of you to see that you follow these leaders without even studying amongst themselves.
Just to back you up, right? People don't understand that we suffer in this ministry for a greater purpose. Right, we came into this ministry to suffer, right? Not to get all the glory and become rich and things like that. We came in this ministry to suffer, right? I just did a lesson on that literally a couple days ago, right? But
got a precept right there. What I'm talking about, right? Right, this 2 Timothy 2, and I started verse 11. Right, it says, it is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. Dead to this world, dead to the ways around us. Right? It says, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us. If we believe not, yet he abideth faithfully, he deny himself. It's like he cannot deny himself. It says, of these things put them in remembrance, charging them before the Lord, they strive not about words to know the prophet, but to the subverting of the hearers. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But shun to you like a boy, but shun profane and vain babblings. And we had like close to the end of 2025, you had that big controversy where I don't know the name of the group, but they was coming out saying that, you know, I was talking about, they was saying that a lot of other nations would be saved, other nations would be in the chariots. And that's vain babbling. We're supposed to avoid those things. You're supposed to, of course, you're gonna correct them, but people like that, you gotta turn your ears to them, man. They teach you bullshit, teach you folly, man. Right?
Quick point. As Chris said, rightly divide the truth. So it's like when you know the truth, it's easy to recognize the lie because you can divide the truth. So you know what you're looking for, right? You know how to match it up. Okay, this don't match. Okay, that don't, you know.
No, that goes with like, even with, you know, I didn't get to that point, but just even with Christianity don't add up to no sense at all, right? You know, they don't even match up to even the way they carry themselves, they live themselves. You know, these people go out and bomb, kill, do all these type of things. They can come to a place and tell you that, you know, God love everybody. So what's the pay for the what's the judgment for the things that they're doing? So nobody just don't get judgment. You know, if y'all so big on heaven and hell, who the hell is going to hell? Because these devils out here wild doing whatever. You know, they out here wild doing whatever. But you can be so easy deceived. Most I say, y'all foolish children. You can be so easy deceived by that and tricked into that just because you don't study. You don't study for yourself, but you don't read. You know, you can't even. The only precepts they know is John 3:16. Philippians 4:30. Y'all know the precepts to make yourself sound like you know something.
Because when Esau did it on purpose, he made Christianity so accepting that the world would accept him for being the weak. All right, because what he do when he bomb another country or when he rape, rob, and murder another country, he justified. All right, by what? By Christianity. All right.
And fall right along with it. Even with them doing all that, that's what y'all do believe in. Y'all read the Bible and it tells you only Israel can repent. Acts chapter 5. You know, but they even read that. Do you read that part? Where is that? Who's they gonna repent? How can they repent? They will tell you how it shall lay down for Israel to give repentance unto Israel, not no other nation. So if you're not Hebrew Israelite, nation of Israel, you cannot repent.
But that's why persecution gonna come first. There's a precept that say that all these things must happen, but first they shall persecute you. But anyway, because the small house, they got it, like you said, repentance is for Israel. All right, salvation is for Israel. So meaning we Israel basically we gotta get away free pass. So these small house claim to be the people of Israel, and people are more accepted to their wickedness. It's like, okay, well, these is the chosen people, but these it
many people think like they might be right. You know, the Most High might be on their side. They might be doing something.
Right.
Because and that's that goes into the fornication of Babylon. You know, Elder Pastor Romline, I was listening to his testimony as well. He was talking about how he used a boxing term, something with the cage, something like that. Basically, how you box somebody in the corner to where they can't run around the ring. And that's how Esau's doing it. It's getting to a point to where it's been at the point. They done dumbed down Jake so much to now the only knowledge and understanding that's out is what Esau put out there. And the only understanding of everything is what Esau done gave, even from the history of Christopher Columbus, even from the history of everything. So now when Jake hear these things, you know, when we tell them things like this, you know, they run to Google and ask, like, just for instance, you know, we been at school, you know, the scripture, they say, you know, I and my Father are one. You know, like Christians believe, they think that Yahweh and Yahweh are the same being. But if you search it up, it agrees to them being the same being, right? It don't give no distinct They don't give no distinction between them. They don't really let them understand it. But when you come to them and tell them like, no man, it's the truth, break down things, it's like Jake only have to understand what Esau done put out here, the curriculum, Esau done control. Then with this digital coming out, now it's go from the knowledge understanding. Now it's to the point where like we done them down, so now we just gotta control them and put this chip in them. Now we just gotta put them in a position where now they gotta comply. Cause we done confuse them and think that we're good people. We done gave them freedom. They can do whatever they want to do. They can get fancy cars. They can get all these things. But now they got these things. If y'all want to keep these things, do this. Now y'all, you want to keep this car? Put this chip in. You want this? You want to keep this house you don't work for? This business we was talking about that earlier as well. The compromise. That's why the elders tell you, you don't want to get in too deep, because you're gonna get in too deep to where Yahweh even give you to that list. You so caught up on all this money, cars, clothes, all these type of things. Now at this point, now it's time to compromise to the point to where none of these things matter unless you comply to the system of Esau Edom. Now what are you gonna do? And that's why a lot of these, going to the title lesson, that's why a lot of these apostates gonna be exposed these last days. A lot of these guys not really ready to give it all up for Yahweh. It's really at the point where, like we've been saying, it's based on, at this point, based on faith. Whether you have faith or not, whether you don't. A lot of these guys showing they don't got enough faith to really hang on and be rooted really in this thing. They falling out through all type of ways. Through women, through a job. A job, things and stuff. Come on, man, a job. Men go to work every day who still do lessons, do work. The brother be at work all the time, come straight to campaign and stuff. People trying to choose these excuses. Go to Luke 14, man. And they set them up for the dinner, if I'm not mistaken. They start making all type of excuses. But that's what Esau wants. Ultimately, Esau wants you to be against Yahweh Shah. That's why everything Esau is contrary to Yahweh Shah. He wants you to fall into his way, drunken off his fornication. The why scripture say you stagger not from a strong drink. You stagger from these doctrines. When you stagger, you drunk, you lopsided, you not stable. Jake ain't stable. So now, like the scripture say, they toss to and fro. We ain't gonna be no more tossed to and fro. We got the true doctrine now. It's been brought into us through the spirit, so now we're able to abide and walk in that way.
Very important. A little bit earlier, you mentioned how Jake, basically, they're going to comply with the ways of this world. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do what they got to do in this world because, like you said, they want that money, they want those jobs, they want that cars, women, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But they don't mind. Why? Because if you go the opposite way, it's not going to be a happy day for you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to forsake certain things. You're not going to be able to go do certain things. But ultimately, you know what I'm saying? That's for the better. Why? Because on one end of the spectrum, really it's all the same side of the spectrum. But on one side, you know what I'm saying? The point really doesn't matter. I'm gonna read this.
I can read this real fast. I can finish where I was at. I'm gonna finish off with NLT, right? I'm stuck like at 15, right? It says, work hard, says NLT 2 Timothy 2. It says, work hard so you can present yourself to Yahweh and receive his approval. Be a good worker, one who does not need to be ashamed, who correctly explains the word of truth. Avoid worthless, foolish talk that only leads to more godless behavior. This kind of talk spreads like cancer, right? As in the case of Arminius and Photilius, you know what I'm saying that, right? It says they have, and this is how these apostates move, right? It says they have left the path of truth, claiming that the resurrection of the dead has already occurred. So anything that's out, anything we already, they telling everybody, this one already happened. It didn't already be delivered. Your house already came back, which it happened, right? And guess what it says? It says in this way, they have turned some people away from the faith, right? But Yahweh's truth stands firm like a foundation stone with this inscription: the Lord knows those who are his, and all who belong to the Lord must turn away from evil. And the point is, I want to read it in the text, because you will see, them trying to overthrow the faith, right? Those apostates, them trying to turn the faith, trying to turn it around, but the Lord knows who's his. Like it says, well, my sheep hear my voice. They don't pay attention to the stranger's voice. So that's how it goes to Amos 9. And sifting gonna start happening. You gonna have these apostates, these sellouts, they're gonna start getting exposed. A lot of shit gonna start coming down, a lot of shit gonna start happening on. And it might not even just be straight up death. You'll see them selling out more, seeing them, you probably start seeing more and more of them boys on these podcasts and whatnot, right? Going on these podcasts and creating this, because that's gonna create it's gonna create a conversation. It's gonna create more confusion, right? And what Babylon represents, confusion. They love to leave you in a confused state. So Yahweh he'll allow these people to go on and do this, but it's gonna be that sifting. The ones who have that number, they're gonna slowly follow it. Even the ones who amongst these camps, they got these sellouts, these apostates, they're gonna slowly move away. Lord willing, and you know, start following the righteous path.
So I got two precepts for you, and I got a precept for what you're saying, right? First precept, 2 Timothy 4:3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itchy ears, and that's all they doing is going after their own lust, right? Going preaching the so-called doctrine that they feel like is the best. Like it was a doctrine going out there saying that Jacob Trouble already happened. Trying to say that slavery was Jacob Trouble. Trying to say that the Martin Luther King era was Jacob Trouble and all that bullshit. Oh, obviously y'all don't know the scriptures, right? Daniel 12:1 clearly said that it's gonna be a time like never before. Right, so obviously y'all don't know the scriptures for real, right?
And quick point as well, you know, and also in Daniel 9, you know, when the Romans invaded Jerusalem, how was telling them like, well, it's gonna be a time like never seen before. This is gonna be worse than that. Imagine the time we went through there. That shit ain't, we ain't went through. Come on, man.
They just don't know, man. I'm gonna finish off with verse 4, 2 Timothy 4:4. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned into fables, man. You know, fables going to a lie, a myth. What's a lie and a myth? When somebody speaks upon it, basically a false prophet, a false teacher, right? Because y'all preaching a false doctrine, right? But I'm gonna get towards it real quick, and then the other scripture is going back to Matthew 13th chapter, right? But do you remember what you were saying? The point that you were giving, how like you like it's easier for us or something like that, or you like people go rather than going to the money car stores, the people that are paying their sex, because it's easier. Basically, I believe that's what you were saying, right? So let's go to Matthew, the 7th chapter. We'll start at verse 13. It reads, enter ye in at the straight gate, right? The word straight, S-T-R-A-I-T, meaning with a difficult gate. It said, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth unto destruction, and many of them be which go in, that go in therein. And many go through that wide and broad gate. The why? It's easy, right? That's what the feeling of the lust is at, right? You want to fulfill the lust of the flesh and things of that such. That's the feel good way. Yeah, that make me feel good, right?
The Christian way to make most of fix a lifestyle, not live the way how about you outside.
Kind. Verse 14, it says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that found of it, right? Who could be the ones that found of it? It's the elect. Just like it says in Romans 11, chapter verse 7, right? The election is going to attain it, and the rest were blinded, right? Come on, man. You see how everything just pieces up together, though? But people not going to be willing to stray upon that straight and narrow path, because why? It's going to be difficult, right? It's like when you playing 2K on Hall of Fame, right? It's hard as shit, right? But when you put it on rookie mode, or what it's easy, right? People not willing to go through that hardship, right? They're not built for it, right? But it's a reason they ain't built for it. It ain't meant to be saved. You got it.
They're really all going to the point I was making, because like the point that I was going to go into was just basically saying it's the same things all over again, because these like the same times that it was back in the times with the Maccabees. You know, people going into the region, right? It was hard to do the things of the Lord. It was hard to be you know what I'm saying, an Israelite, to be a Jew. You know what I'm saying? It was different. Why? Because you were in Greek captivity. You know what I'm saying? You weren't allowed to do certain things. You were forced to eat certain things, right? There's accounts in the book of Maccabees where it was like a mother and her sons, and they were trying to force them to do so, but they rather die than do certain things. So
you know what they fed us during slavery? Our ancestors?
shit.
Shrimp, pork.
What's that one thing?
It's a
The intestines of the fucking chitlins. That was
straight
the
abomination. They used to always feed us abominations.
like crab, shit like that. That was
That's why
scum of the earth.
that's why people got high blood pressure, right? Because you eat those things, it causes high blood pressure.
quick point, it's a book called Babylon and Timbuktu, and it's explained that when the Romans, like basically going to history, when the Romans came, you know, with Titus, Vespasian, you know, when they came in, take over Jerusalem, and when they took it over, it goes into the account of how, you know, basically like, you know, they was making the people who stayed, the ones who took captive, you had a lot of them who just started following the ways of the Romans. They was like, fuck, we just gonna give in to it. Like we talking about how, you know, they would start to eat pork. They knew the Romans knew that the Jews were supposed to eat no pork. Knew they weren't supposed to go against the Sabbath. And the Romans started making them do all those things.
Going against the law, man. That's it.
And quick one debate in the Maccabees. That's why in Acts. That's why when Paul was explaining to the Gentiles, that's why those ones who knew they was Jews, they was envious. They was basically mad at them because they get this. Why? Also in Romans 11 kind of goes to that. They was mad because why you bringing them back in? They don't supposed to be saying we don't really suffer. We don't went through hardship. No, they gave up easy. That's why they was mad at Gentiles who was grafted back in.
Yeah, those branches on the book of office, which was what? Some kind of olive tree.
God, what you think they go? Everything ain't nothing going under the sun. So the same way they was doing it, what you think they gonna do in a payment count? Right, when you get your ass captured and they feed you this bullshit, this to try to see if you go betray or blaspheme the Heavenly Father or take the children, they gonna be feeding you what? Abomination. They either go see if you go fucking starve to death or you go give it to them, right? That's how they do. They like to play mind tricks and that's what I'm telling you. You got
to quick precept now. Really to the point earlier, you have made a point earlier, so I had put on the comment board. It was going to take, I just get straight to the point, Matthew 10:21. It says, the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall raise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Right? When I read verse 22, it says, ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. That's Yahweh shall tell you he endure to the end, because it's gonna get to a point to where, you are that number, Lord willing, you endure to the end. This word right here really don't hate you, especially when the time pop off of martial law, things that such where Esau is persecute you. Really, you either gonna abide to what we saying, or we're gonna kill you, or you gonna abide to what we say, you're gonna need his count. When they get to that point, you're gonna really start to see how these people turn you over. Things such. There's gonna be days where you can't eat, even if you caught up in the count. There's gonna be days, months probably where you can't eat. But at the end of the day, you gotta keep that faith. Understand, once you have by saying outside might put his real on. Today one day they might bring out bread instead of bringing out pork. Now you're able to get you some food or something in.
But just like the scripture say that the Lord gonna take care of his true servants, right? Of his elect, right? So and you shall starve. Because gonna be a famine of food, famine of water. So they gonna be rationing the food, right? Already, but the Lord's gonna make sure that his elect, that his true servants, get water, get food, right? And he's still gonna make sure that they're straight even during the time of trouble, man. That's why it's very important to keep the faith until endurance until the end, right?
If you really think about I don't know if it's real or not, but they had a little thing basically saying Trump basically going into Trump said something about basically some Hunger Games. But when you watch Hunger Games, that's basically how it's to the point to how it's gonna be for real. How if you look at it, not say it's gonna be exactly like that when you gonna fight. It's the scarcity of food, people starving, people living in so much hardship, things as such. You got guards walking around with guns all over. You really can't even do nothing. Sun go down, you gotta go in the house, things as such. It's gonna get to that. Scripture said it's gonna be like madman sparing none.
That's all I'm gonna bring out to the early 60 chapter. That's like around the 70th verse. I think like verse 70, 71, 72, something like that.
That goes, like how you said earlier. There ain't no way that Jacob's trouble already happened. We wouldn't be here, doing what we're doing right now if Jacob's trouble was already going on. You know what I'm saying?
And that'd be in the kingdom.
You know what I'm saying? Really proud. Because, with Jacob's trouble, that's also, if I need you, so on and so forth. Because, we're not gonna be able to get certain food, we're not gonna be able to function as the rest of society is able to function. You know what I'm saying? So really all that starts to go.
Can't say Jacob trouble. He saw the ride straight past us, ain't even said, Scripture said they gonna come down with great wrath. They'll come down with.
Doesn't it say it's gonna be a time where, a man should desire to shit up with face? You know what I'm saying? I can take the trouble if I already.
That's the thing. That's like what that scripture go roughly paraphrase. Ye err not knowing the scripture. Roughly paraphrase. So you said that point.
I can bring it out.
You know, bring out my Miami.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's all the same spirit, really.
I was gonna take the two back up at Matthew 13 chapter. So I'm not.
See it.
Back at them. Yeah. Then I will tell you to jump down a couple verses.
I can't read.
Okay. But
Do
you think?
Kind of, but yeah, it was just that same point. Just saying again, it's or like you just said, them doing the sons, the same thing over and over again. So, you know, how like the lady and her sons in the Maccabees was, you know what I'm saying, they were getting tortured, tormented by certain evil men. You know, it's gonna be the same thing with the FEMA camp, so on and so forth, right? Israel's gonna be tortured by these evil men, these wicked men. You know, it's gonna be the same thing over and over. But the same way that you know, Esau Edom be coming back, you know, like Nero being Trump, you know, so on and so forth, right? You got those wicked jakes coming back, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the same people, but
Same spirit.
you know what I'm saying? So again, this, you know, a scripture that everybody know, but First Maccabees 1:11, right? Which we read all the time. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men, persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. That's the point that we was going into. But like I said, you know, when you depart from this world, when you depart from America, when you depart from Babylon, it gets harder for you because you know you can't you're not advancing and getting rich and getting out the notoriety, getting out the attention that your flesh desires, right? And we know that the flesh is strong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the flesh is weak. You know. It's like a simple time, but we know the flesh is weak, so it's gonna be easy for you to fall into certain things. But that's again, that goes into that striving, it goes into that enduring to the end. You know what I'm saying? If it was easy, you know what I'm saying, everybody would do it, but it's not easy to get to the kingdom of heaven. That again, it's that straight gate. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, straight meaning what? Difficult. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna be easy to do. So that's why these evil men was going out persuading, saying, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? That's too hard. You know, let's go be like Babylon. Let's go be like America. So on and so forth. It's gonna be easy. You're gonna be able to get, you know, the get rich quick schemes. You know, people be, you know, especially nowadays, it's easy, right? All you gotta do is stream and do some bullshit and go viral. Now you're rich. You know what I'm saying? Basically just selling your soul. You know what I'm saying? The females sell their bodies. The niggas getting, you know what I'm saying, sodomized, so on and so forth. You know, if y'all watch that documentary with Diddy, you know what I'm saying, it was one dude with he had like a little, I guess you would call it testimony for lack of a better term. But it was one dude that, you know, I don't really get far off the point. But it's just an example of how they work in the world, and that sodomizing shit. Because there was one dude, he said Diddy had showed him a picture of a white man being sodomized. And was like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it around here. This is how you get big. So like, you know what I'm saying? So that's
what gain the whole world, lose your soul.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of shit you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? To gain notoriety in this world. But Jake want to get rich so bad, they willing to do shit like that. And they willing to give up. Like you said, they willing to give up their soul just to have some type of notoriety in a declining empire. You know,
Money, man. That's all.
Love of money, you know.
it's the root of all evil. But continuing on verse 12, it says, so this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king who gave them ordinance, to give them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. And that goes back to that point that you were saying about it's like a false sense of freedom. You know what I'm saying? Because you can do whatever you want in America. You know what I'm saying? You have the ability to be wherever you want to be. If you want to say you feel like you're a cat, then you can be it. Like not like real shit. Like I got family members who work in the school system. They said like there's a little girl who literally thinks she's a cat. You can't tell her parents about it. You can't tell her no different. And this is here in fucking little ass city that we in. So just think how it is all across Babylon. It's
LA.
It's terrible.
Nah, that
I ain't
shit
gonna lie,
crazy.
I was talking to my son. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, my son got one school to go to where they get the profession, the rainbow life. Yeah, he gonna get home. We learn at home, man. You know, that's the motto now. You know, they don't want you write the child, he, she, male, female no more. He's a human. Nah,
But
man.
like they actually have guidance counselors in the schools to try to like consult with kids who feel like they not what they supposed to be, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Shit wicked, man. It's a wicked ass kingdom.
That's what this Most High tells. He keeps over and over. What's up with the Spirit, with the prophets, to give warning. Then, you know, once you receive the word, you have to digest it and spit it back out. Because it gets to a point to where Jake not really listening or understanding the fact that this is a warning. You know, the Most High has to get rid of this place. You know, I just mentioned earlier, one reason is just, what they done to our people. The other reason is the pride, the idolatry, the wickedness. This place has to be gone. Imagine the Most High let this place prolong, man. This place, America down there blow up the whole, try to take over the whole world at least. You know? But look at all the wickedness and the profession that they push out. And it's all, you see all of it, all contrary to Yahweh Shah. The scriptures tell you they profess themselves to be as God. You know, they're at the point now to think that nobody can knock them down, nobody can take them off. You know, now Yahweh Shah, he don't let them build that avenue up because why? Like brother bringing out, Jake done got to the point to where they say, okay, bet let's just go do what they doing and agree with them. Maybe our life would be easier. Cause you got once again what you sent to the group chat with the what's his name, the 7 heart transplants. Those miracles, those miracles, Matthew 24:24, those miracles deceived Jake. Not Jake that he got a chance to rock on. Jake that he got a chance to survive. You know what miracles?
Jake don't see no more than this. All right, Jake. You know, of course it's Esau kingdom, but it's wrong with 2/3 of Eve. It's their kingdom. They don't see no more than this. All right.
It's at that point. It's at that point to where, like you said, now they don't see no more than this because Most High ain't gave them the vision to really see what you know what we able to see. It was like I keep forgetting the definition of it, but you know, like I remember when I used to be in school, our teachers read the book, and before she shows the picture, envision it basically. Like you can, like if you read the book, the cows they can picture it. You know, they don't have that sense of when we read this. You read about the kingdom, read these things, we can really envision. I mean, when we first came into, we used to be talking about. We used to like, boy, like we can see it, boy, this and that. You know, when we ride, say we go out, might go to Charlotte, something whatnot. We ride, the brothers be like, man, you think this look good? Imagine the kingdom, like we can see.
Sometimes you can't even imagine it because it's so.
That's how I be.
Like brothers be on point. Like when they be, brothers be making like AI videos and stuff like that. And you post them. Those look good. Those look beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But that's not even doing it. That's just what brothers really gonna be.
Ain't nothing compared, man. Nothing compared to the glories in front of us. And Jake don't see the glory in front of us. Jake's so caught up right here, right now. And that's why Esau put those miracles, all those things in front of his face right now, because he know how a nigga move. He know how a nigga, you gotta think, niggas love fast money, fast cars, fast life. He know that. So that he professed to Jake that he can how he can get this fast life, how he can get these things. But when I was trying to tell you what, if you think, just put like this is a point right there.
Oh. Real quick, it's like well, y'all probably never heard the song. Maybe y'all have, but Notorious B.I.G. had a song Suicidal Thoughts or something like that. Anyway, in the song he was like, fuck it, when I die, I want to go to hell. Blah blah blah. Anyway, he was saying how he don't want to go to heaven. He was like he like being dressed in black all day. He was like most I would never do this thing. So just porno shit. Like that's how niggas feel. Like he was like I don't want to go to heaven. Like, I want to wear black. You know I want to.
But that's the point. Like and pointing that. What I was saying, you know, the fast life. It's so contrary to Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah told us to keep our patience. Jake can't even keep his patience enough just to survive right now. Jake
just wait till Friday to get that paycheck.
Yeah, Jake gotta do everything. He gotta do everything fast and hurry. Gotta get it done now because Jake already know this ain't his kingdom. Even when he's talking about rappers, Tupac made that song "White Man's World." They know it, but they be trying to build so much power up once they say it. They be trying to come against Esau carnally to the point to where they think that they can compete. You can't compete with Esau carnally. They the Most High sword. Most High tell you that's why. Most High tell you to get in the scripture. Because the only way you can overcome them is through this knowledge and understanding. And you know, the physical part, Yahweh Shah's coming to handle that. You know? And who he coming with, not to cut you off a quick point, he coming with Michael the Archangel. It's an account in Daniel to where when he was coming against Yahweh Shah had to get Michael the Archangel, he had to go against Cyrus, the Persian, the king of Persia. He had to go get and when he go into it, you understand it. When he come with Michael the Archangel, that's one of the top. He's
second in command in the third world, which is the heaven. Then King David is second in command on earth.
So when he come with Michael the Archangel, that means
business, like straight war, like ain't nothing less than that. Michael the Archangel coming to put that.
And then how I also say the only one who could understand with basically the only one who can be beside me for real is Michael the Archangel. So if you thinking he got to bring Michael Arnett down, what make you think that your little money, your little cars, your thing that gonna put you in power, your little gun, you know what I'm saying, gonna put you in power against Esau, you know? Oh man, Most High put them in that position, and that's the main thing that be irking me with Jake don't get. You know, we come tell him like, well, you know, Most High put Esau in this position for a reason because he know their character. You know, but he puts on this league so y'all can see the fact of what's going on in this world. Everybody knows white man crazy, wicked, and all that, but Jake can still run to the white man for everything he needs. Everything he need, everything he want, all that he runs straight to Esau Edom. When the prophets tell you, hey, listen to the truth. Return to you, how about you outside? That shit like you tell him, you owe me $500. He ready to crash out. You know, he don't want to hear it.
He don't even want to pay you back.
You know, and so Jake's so backwards. They turn their back. So Jake, once again, Jake foolish, man. Inside this tree, they foolish, man. They lost, man. They so dumb. You know, Esau done dumbed down so much. So they can't really understand the truth. The lies so ingrained, they punch still with a hot iron. The lies on their mind, total thing. It's sealed now.
They gross darkness to people. Man, like I said in Isaiah, and you gotta think, man, Jake doing they simple. Like the scripture say, how simple ones love simplicity. Right? So they simple as hell, man. You know, they want to be drug lords and things of that such. Little do they know Esau win at the end of the day. Right? All the top drug lords, all the top, they all get locked up. Die. Right? You gotta look at the Pablos and all these motherfuckers, man. Esau always got them get the victory over, man. The big meats and things and that shit.
The Scarface, you know what I'm saying? That just show you how backwards Jake is. Because when that movie Scarface came out, you know, everybody wanted to be Tony Montana. Future made songs about Tony Montana, but what Tony Montana do at the end of the movie? That nigga died. You know what I'm saying? Like he had money, he had hope, but at the end of the day, he died coked up. You know what I'm saying? But that's what Jake sees as glory.
That's what they desire. They'd rather live their life and die at the end of the day. Rather than do the righteous work and to live right at the end of the day.
I got a couple quick precept from the point, but this Philippians 3, I started verse 18 or 17 right here. It says, brethren, be followers together of me and mark them which walk so as he have us for an example. And that's the point. That's why, you know, it ain't necessarily that you idolizing the elders, but this is the lesson Elder Martin talked about did earlier. You know, why would you not want to listen to the ones who teach you 100% truth? You know, you got to use them as an example. But those guys who, you know, those are guys walking on that narrow path. And that's what, you know, ultimately Yahushua came and showed us that righteous way to offense our faith, you know, and he had his disciples and apostles, which he left the 100% truth to go out and show and teach in his name. That's what we're doing, give honor and glory to Yahushua and help lead us down this narrow path. So you got to use those men as example. You can't follow these apostles, you can't follow these guys, this point we're going to get to, right? It says, for many walk of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, they are the enemies of the cross of Mashiach Yahushua. Right? It's the point right here. Whose end is destruction. Like we said with Tony Montana, all these guys in destruction. Right? But these are the idols, these are the people that Jake loved to follow. Pablo Escobar, all these type of guys, the rappers, the trappers, the basketball players, right? Most I said whose power, right, is their belly. Right, whose God is their belly. That's what they love. They love to feel. They love to be boastful, be filled up. They love the pride of life. Right? It says, whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. And that's the main things on their mind. These earthly things. That's what keeps them going. That's what pushes them. Jay can't live it right if he ain't got the fancy car, fancy house, and things that such. You know, he ain't living right. He ain't doing right in his life. Whole time he ain't doing right at all because he ain't even in this truth. Whole time he finna be led straight to destruction. Micah 2:10. His whole, everything he done built up, everything he trying to chase after, couldn't destroy it, burnt up, right? But I got a precept, I got another precept real fast. Let's go into that's that private agenda that Esau got. Yeah, Psalm 64. You started verse 2.
Psalm chapter 64. Verse 2, and it reads, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
You know that secret counsel, that's the elites, the Lucifer, like those light bearers, the ones behind the scenes who really orchestrate and set all these things up, right? Who really put the money and the time into keep the people confounded and confused so they can keep on trying to push their new world order.
God, who wet their tongues like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret and be perfect, Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They can,
Right, quick point. The evil matter is what? That new world order. That's the evil matter that they trying to. That's the evil matter that they whole mindset, they whole agenda is set on. Right? Continue to read.
they commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them?
And you know, snares is a trap, right? This is how we talking about movies, music, the pride of life, the NFL, the NBA, the ML, all these things. Esau put these entertainment forms, they put all these things out, and even within these movies, a lot of times they show you ways how they gonna handle things. They showing you all these things, right? There's certain movies where you can watch it, like what's the movie called? I forgot the movie on Netflix. I think I told the brother to watch.
Old guard.
Not Old Guard, not only that one, Who Shot Tyrone, something to Tyrone, Who Cloned Tyrone, they cloned Tyrone Khan. Even that type, you know, those things, Esau showing all these things, all these ways, all these, they showing all these things in these movies, but they show all these things in entertainment form. So for a point of it, Jake don't pay attention to it. For a point of it, they don't give in to it, but man, that's it. Deceive Jake all the way. Even going into these movies with, they make entertainment movies about, you know, out of all the things people where they're gonna make movies about the biggest drug. Mind you, Esau doesn't hate people, they kill people, all type of things. They profess this against their law, but they go make documentaries on what Diddy out doing these people. Make documentaries on the Jeff Barmer dude, whatever his name is. They make documentaries on the biggest drug dealers. Why? Because they know them the snares, them the traps is gonna pull Jake. Oh yeah, well, I gotta do that. Well, I wanna do that because whether you like it or not, those people popular as they gone, they spirit in spiritual, or Lord will the Most High might send them back to the flesh, but those people are popular. Let Pablo Escobar been walking right now, but I see your documentary, those people popular. Jeff them, whatever his name is, he's been popular. They done made them people famous. You know, these type of things Esau put out there that have them snares, them traps. Right, but well, you can finish off in verse 6.
Verse 6, it says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both that the inward thought of every one of them in the heart is deep.
So they put all these things out, you know, entertainment forms, all these type of things, right? And they make sure that many people won't catch on to it. Even though the ones who in the spirituality, you know, the ones who in the truth, they peep, they see these things, they see deceiving these things. That's why Elder Apostle Hart one day watching the lesson on him, you know, he was talking about how David was playing what was it again? A harp. And you know, and this spirit is crazy because at this time, you know, at this time I had just got out of the shower and whatnot. You know, in the shower I listen to music, right? Let the music play, so I get out and listen to the lesson. He like, yeah, you can't listen to certain songs because them songs put, you know what I'm saying? And these type of things, like, dang, like, hold on, little hip things, you know?
Maybe kids.
And I had times when I caught myself like shit be on shuffle, the song we playing. Like it's real like a demon. Like
I tell myself that,
I gotta skip that shit. I don't even want to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
That's why people.
I was finna say, cause even he don't like to be called the elder, but Brother Kazak in GMS Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? He like to go into, you know what I'm saying, things like that. You know, he sings his song before his before the lessons. And, you know, he like numerology and stuff like that. But he was talking about like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, he don't write his raps. He was like, he able to do that because that's literally that's a demon on him. You know what I'm saying? That's a demon allowing him to do certain things.
The movie that just had everybody can find the sinners.
Yeah, kind of. That's what I'm saying. It's spirits on the left and right hand side. You know what I'm saying? Like when like that account when I think it was was it Moses when he had the staff and he was going against like the other like pharaohs, like magicians, like they was doing shit too. Because that's left hand side like shit. You know, that's left hand side witchcraft. But the power of Yahweh Shah, of course, nothing compares to it. But there's things that happen on the left and right hand side. You know what I'm saying? What? Because I think he turned like his staff into a snake. You know what I'm saying? He did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's evil and righteous powers. They all come from one place.
He said they search out, they do a diligent search. They make sure ain't nobody hip to these things, but as we saying, you know, through the spirit, we able to see that's that light, you know, that's that light. We able to see these things, we able to be hip to these things. So you know we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. We're not tricked in his ways that's got the 2/3 confounded confused. You know? And that's why we're able to be in the light to see. Like, they get more, they prepare more and more to the new world order. They get more money, they try to build it up more and more. Be able to see that, man. That's the light behind Bashial Shah. We got
2 Peter 3 and 3, and Jude 1 and 18. And we'll continue on from there. Just going back up the apostates, right? Things of that sense. Start at the 21. Read down 23 and then jump to verse 47.
So this is Matthew 13 and 21. It says, "Yet hath he not rooted himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, by and by he is offended. He also that receiveth seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful."
God, so that's a lot of people that fall out of the truth just off the cares of this world, right? That's why 1 John 2 and 15 on down, what the Lord says, love not the world. Right? Because why? This world is full of wickedness, right? It's full of things that go against Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, right? Because you got to think who in rulership, right? The wicked, right? So therefore, the things of this earth are wicked, right? So therefore, a lot of people get choked up by the cares of this world and things of that such, right? That's why you got to be all into this truth and not have one foot in and one foot out, right? Because like the scriptures tell you, you cannot serve two masters, right? You can finish up and everybody got no precept.
Just quick precept. Second Timothy 2 and 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. Right? Which the verse above, of course, that person chosen was, you being a good soldier for Yahweh Shai, right? But like I said, you're not going to entangle yourself with the affairs of this world. You're not going to be wrapped up in, like the thing that was going on with the not controversy, but the thing that was going on with the dude wanting to take off. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't want to do doors. You know what I'm saying? For a job, you too entangled with the affairs of this life. You know what I'm saying? You too entangled with the world. Getting back to Matthew 13.
I have a good picture of back there too. Just going to the point, he said, you can't be on both sides of the fence, right? It's Galatians 3 and 15. I read in the T-Rif fast. It says, "I know all things you do, that you're neither hot nor cold. I wish that you were one or the other." So choose, pick a side, man. Choose. Ain't no being on both sides of the fence. You either all in or you ain't.
So Matthew 13, starting at 23, it says, "But he that receives seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit and bringeth forth, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
Lord willing, we are that good ground, right? Lord willing, we was planted into that good ground. We rooted all the way in, and we the one that bear forth fruit, right? Good fruit, right? So you'll jump down to verse. You'll finish up at 48.
So this is Matthew 13.
You can finish at 50. 47 through 50.
This is Matthew 13 and 47. It says, "Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea, and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore, and sat down, and gathered the good into vessels, but to cast the bad away."
All right, man. So the Lord is casting the bad away, right? With the apostates, right? With the, brother, the sifting, right? Things that says the Lord is sifting out the bad from amongst the just, right? You can continue on.
God, verse 48, it says, verse 49, it says, "So shall it be at the end of the world. The angel shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just."
God, so the Lord going to begin to separate, right, the wicked from the just, right? And that's why right? So that's why Apostle Tahar, right, saying 2026, this is going to be the year of the apostates, the sellouts, and the agents, right? Hey, we saying these things, right?
The scripture twofold too is also going to tears of the weak.
You finish off at 50.
That's not the same chapter.
He grew up. It's the same parable. It's the same parable you're reading, but it's twofold. You got Esau, they are the wicked, but you got Jacob. Just like with Romans,
Jacob.
that's
You know how it be though, like with scriptures.
That's kind of twofold, okay? Yeah,
Twofold scriptures.
I even cut you off this to quick back you up. Like, they on chapter 3, you know, when it talks about ancient Nineveh, you know, it's twofold because ancient Nineveh really America today. The wickedness and all the things they had going on, same thing America got going on today. You know, just Christian just twofold. Double meaning.
You ain't gotta read it. That's cool. So, whoever got a 2 Peter and Jude, whoever, you can read that Jude right after that 2 Peter. And then you can grab Luke 13, 24. And I'll finish out.
This is 2 Peter 3, right?
Yeah, 3 and 3.
I'm starting on verse 1.
You got it.
It says, this second epistle, beloved, I write down to you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by the way of remembrance. You know, Peter was saying, you know, we're supposed to stir up, you know, if you got here to teach the word, you know, professing the truth, things and stuff, right? But verse 2, it says that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets and the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior. Knowing this first, there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts.
That's it, right?
Sorry.
You can grab that Jude
You in Jude 1 and
18.
It's the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 18. It reads, how that they told you there should be mockers in the last time who should walk after their own ungodly lusts.
So these scoffers and mockers, right, going after their own lust. And same thing with these apostates, right, when they fall out of the true or whichever ministry they was following after over things that they said, they like to go off and go after their own lust, right? Things that they feel like they're right things in that sense, right? Ultimately, that's prophecy, right? Because we're saying that's what's going on in these latter times, right? These last days.
So 2 Peter 2, after verse 1, it says, but there were false prophets also among the people. Even there shall be false teachers among you, who probably shall bring in damnable heresies. It's like, even denying the Lord that brought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their ridiculous. Many shall follow their ridiculous ways, and by reason of whom the way of truth shall be even spoken of. That's how you got those apostates, man. You know, those false teachers. They coming in, receive the people, and you gonna have many that follow them, and you know go after them. But at the end of the day, once again, you know, Yahushua said, "My sheep hear my voice, and the stranger voices, and they will not listen." It's really paraphrasing.
This is Luke 13, and I'll start at 20. It says someone asked him, Lord.
NLT verse.
Come. It says someone asked him, Lord, will only if you be saved? Work hard to enter the narrow door to the Most High's kingdom. For many will try to enter, but will fail. When the master's house, when the master of the house has locked the door, it will be too late. You will stand outside, knocking and pleading, Lord, open the door for us. But he will reply, I don't know you from where you come from. Then you will say, but we ate and drank with you, and taught, and you taught in our streets. And he will reply, I tell you, I don't know you or where you come from. Get away from me, all you who do evil.
Man, with these apostates, the ones that fall out, these sellouts and things of that sense, right? They think just because they understand the works, right, they'll be able to cop a plea deal with the Al-Bashir Yahushua saying, like, hey man, we was out on the highways and byways as well, right? We was doing the lessons and things of that sense. Like, hey, why why we can't be let in, right? Because how I speak about the door, like, hey, why you can't save us? Right? They're gonna try to cop that plea deal, but what Yahushua gonna say, I tell you, I don't know you. Or where you come from, get away from me. All you who do evil, right? So the Lord is gonna reject them, right? The same way, just because you feel like you undid the works and things of that sort, the Lord is still going to reject you at the end of the day, right? Because why you have to endure to the end, you gotta do the works all the way up until the end, right?
Precept.
You got it.
Matthew 7.
Nah, I just do. I just precept.
Matthew 7, I started verse 21. It says, not everyone that says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter to the kingdom of heaven. And he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? In thy name have cast out devils? In thy name done many wonderful works? Then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not, shall be like unto a foolish man who built his house upon sand, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. And it came to pass when Yahushua had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one having authority, not as a scribe. Point really, 21, about 23, how many of them try to, Lord, we talk things in such way. Most I know you want to turn the faith, Jude had one verse 18 in the verse. That's a letter Jude writing to the righteous to tell them to continue to faith, because those apostates came trying to switch and turn the word around. When Yahushua was resurrected went up, they were trying to turn the word around, So Jude writing telling them that you got to continue in the righteous faith that which Yahushua taught. If I'm not mistaken, Jude was Yahushua's actual brother. Right? It was his biological brother, So he's telling them y'all gotta continue in that faith. Y'all gotta take the righteous faith, because you got these apostates, they twisting and turning. They trying to make their own God, they're making their own way. And like the brother brought out earlier, what I'm saying, ain't nothing doing with the sun. Those same ones who were doing that back then, that's what they're doing now. Same thing.
Somebody grab Psalms 49:1, John 13:18, and Matthew the 5th chapter, starting at verse 10. And I'll finish out with Proverbs 21:16 about the apostates, right? It said, the men that wander out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead, right? And ultimately, that's what the apostates is. What they wander out of the way of understanding, right? If you are a part of GMS or falling out the GMS and you fall out, right? Ultimately, you going back into the congregation of the dead, right? Because ultimately, you was never fully allowed, right, of what they're saying, right? So you remain in the congregation of the dead since you wandered out of the way of understanding, right? And then you go back into the world, or however you want to put it.
Just to back you up, you gotta understand, the foundation was already set. Like the brother said, if you run from it, you leaving the way of understanding. Meaning the truth was already there. The Most High didn't wait, like I said last time, the Most High didn't wait 15, 25 years to give you just a little bit of the truth to break down to the rest of the know. It was already here. Men had already built up, prophecy was already been fulfilled. So it's stupid to think that. It's stupid not to. What scripture says? Some men have came in the wrong way, man. Right, roughly paraphrasing it.
It's a precept, in fact, going to that standard. It's Isaiah 13, to the point, verse 2, it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. That banner is this Bible. And I was saying to brother, Revelation 11:1, it tells you that, Revelation 11:1, it says, there was given me a reed like unto a rod. A reed is like an ancient measuring stick, right? And the angel stood saying, rise and measure the temple of Yahweh and the altar and then the worship therein. When you understand that we that spiritual temple being built. When we building a building, they gotta measure the bricks, they gotta make sure everything right, So, and that goes into the standard, right? The point leading back to the standard, that banner, like a banner is like a flag. How the American got their flag, when you see American flag, the standard they got, the standard they profess out into the world, right? Well, we got our banner, which is the Bible, and it's the standard that we're supposed to measure ourselves in, and His word is true, right? So, Lord willing, the 100% truth through the Spirit part, how about Shiao, with the elders, and Apostle Hart on down, it was a standard that's set, and you, like Brother said, you run away from that standard, you trying to create your own standard or your own way, man, you there to take it from the book of life, you're going to be destroyed for that. Just tell you that, you're going out, right? So, those same ones, like understand who's trying to come in through a door. And how should I say? You can't enter into no door. He the only way to the Father. You're not coming in through your house by Yahweh Shai with 100% doctor, then you ain't coming in at all. You know, you basically destroying you and whoever else follows you.
So I asked ChatGPT, right? Hey, what is a sellout? It says sellout is a person who is seen as abandoning their principles, values, or loyalty in exchange for personal gain. Most often money, fame, power, or acceptance. A simple definition, a sellout is someone who compromises what they believe in to benefit themselves. And we're seeing a prime example in that in the Bible for who? When Judas betrayed it, who our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, right, for 30 silver coins, man. So therefore, the same way how Judas betrayed Yahweh Shai, the same way it's gonna be family members, friends, co-workers, people you trusted, whatever the case may be, are going to betray us for their personal gain, right? Or for them to not be persecuted or to be killed, or however you want to put it, right? So we've got that Psalms. Before y'all got that Psalms, I'm gonna read this in Matthew the 24th chapter. In verse 12, and it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right? Oh, you should grab it.
I had just out of pure curiosity, because I think I wanted to before, but those shekels of silver only equate today to about $100.
I think that's not accurate. I think it keeps.
Oh, wait. It's about 4,000. I think it say most of the stories land closer to 4,000. So I don't know. It's
Still ain't working.
I'm about to say,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's
yeah,
you see how much are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? But I don't give a fuck. It's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just, excuse me, my father. But a lot of people always ask me random questions like, would you do this for this amount of money? Would you do no? And they're like, well, you tripping? Money ain't everything. That's what I always say. Money ain't everything. Money ain't worth a lot.
If you had to do this, for $1 million, you do it.
Oh,
$1 million, you do it.
that's that shit. That's that money. The love of money is a real life. Because when you love money, you will do anything for it. Anything for it. It's like
Nah, you straight. That's just like Esau on my job, right? Motherfucker love, like motherfucker do any and everything for it, bruh. So our coworker, he like, shit, I bet you $20 if you snort this little Zen pouch. I guess like this little nicotine pouch. It's like dip, but it's a pouch. Yeah, they call it Zen. He was like, man, he like, if you snort this, I'll give you $20. He like, shit, send me the 20. Send him the 20. Motherfucker snorted this out, like, bro, you sick as fuck. Nose bleeding and all types of shit. I looked up on Google, like, shit, you, like, before, I ain't saying shit, no, I'm just watching this ass. So I looked up on Google, like, is it okay to snort a Zen? They're like, no, it can cause this and that. Bro, the first symptom was nosebleed. Motherfucking nose started bleeding. Like, I was like, bro, the fuck is blood? I came in there this morning, like, I see blood out in the trash can. I said, oh, what the hell, blood in the trash can? Like, your nose bleeding? He's like, yeah, for some reason my nose started bleeding. I just started laughing. I was like, but you ain't retarded. But he always talking about money, bro. Like, it don't matter what it is. Like, he'd work 100 hours out the week if he could. I'm telling you, like, that's the type of person he is. Crazy thing about it, he lazy as hell. He don't even be doing shit at work. That's what be blowing me. But
that's crazy. That's really crazy. You would just do anything. If it's $20,
come on, $20, fam.
you store that shit for $20. That shit could have got your respiratory system.
Yeah.
You be fucked up, choking.
Fuck. I know what it is. Shit, cause you a Edomite. I don't give a fuck. What you want to do? He do what your dumb ass want to do. But shit, brother wasn't finna grab nothing. Y'all can grab that song. But I'll reread Matthew 24th chapter, verse 13 before y'all grab that. Once again, Yahweh Shai speaks and says, but he, that's how it, so like verse 12, they say, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So, you know, the more the times get to the end, we're going to see a lot of people going to start to lose love for one for another. We're going to start to see a lot of people going to start to betray one another and things of that such, right? Betrayal, right? Betrayal is going to be, it's going to become a big thing, right? Through 2026, right? And however many 4 years that we have left in this thing, man.
Right. Say, as long as the wicked
Rulership.
Esau rule, wicked is gonna go out to the earth more and more.
So,
I got Psalms 49 over here.
oh wait. that's the scripture.
Right.
So like, yeah, that's the just grab that John 13 and 18. Then you just steady in that song, grab Luke 6 and 22.
Luke 6:22.
Kind of, but whoever got that John 13, y'all can grab that for us. I think I got the wrong precept in that song.
John 13, what?
18.
You want that Matthew 5?
Okay, we'll go grab that after this precept was
I said 13, 18.
okay.
This book of John chapter 13, verse 18. It says, I speak not of you all, I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me.
Okay, hold on. What was that?
John 13, 18.
So I think oh yeah, kind. You read that. See, like,
John 13, 18. I speak not of you all, I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me.
so you know that phrase, you know, and this is going into how Judas had betrayed Yahushua, right? That phrase of lifted up his heel against me, basically someone betraying you, right? That's what that means. That's what I want in that Psalms, and I'm gonna grab it real quick. So like y'all do.
Just a quick point in there, you when you in that chapter with that John 13, I think it's 11 where it says, you know, I think it's what he's saying, when he gonna betray me? He tell me like, I'm telling you this because when it happens, you gonna know who I am. Y'all listen to me teach the word, teach the truth. The truth like it's a meal. Still one you gonna go against me, understand it. I'm coming to tell you, I'm coming to deliver y'all. I'm coming. So you gotta think, Yahushua came with the message the first time. That's why he say, Isaiah 14, he said I have a long time holding my peace. Because Yahushua, you know, he ready to come back. Not only to, you know, avenge the elect, you know, and deliver the elect, but bring destruction. Because for one, you know, he haven't got his glory in the earth yet. Another thing, you know, they despise Yahushua, they hate Yahushua. You know, Yahushua, he took the embarrassment, he took all those things on the chin. He knew, you know, what the purpose was for. But he's trying to tell his people, you know, what's going on, and his people still went against him. Yeah, Judas betraying him or whatnot, things like that. So this time when he come with that recompense to those ones who went against him, you know, those 2/3 those other nations, where he bring that deliverance to those ones who listened, you know, to the ones who understood who he was, you know.
God, so I wanted that Psalms 41 and 9. So I'm gonna just read it. It says, yeah, mine own familiar friend and whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, I lifted up his heel against me. And like I said, that phrase, that meaning to go against him, right? To betray them. And you know, them being sent out, that's what they're gonna do in these last days. People gonna start giving us up to be persecuted, right? To be killed at the end of that sense, right? And then ultimately that's them lifting up their heel against us. Right? So you just read that John. So you just pick up in that Matthew, I said. And then you got that Luke 6.
It's the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 10. And it reads, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
So the Lord said you shall be blessed to be persecuted for a righteous sake. Right? You can finish off into it.
Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
So going back to the verse 11, I said, blessed are ye when men shall revile you. Revile meaning, revile meaning someone speaking with harsh, abusive, or insulting language against you, right? It says, and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. So these are things that we're going to have to go through, right? The same way the prophets before us was persecuted, and Yahushua as well, the same way we got to go through the same thing, right? Verse 12 it said, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, right? So ultimately we're going to receive that crown of life for being persecuted, right, for righteous sake. He said, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you, so you shall be glad that these things shall happen to you, right? You should rather to be persecuted, right? Because you know you go receive that crown of life, you know you go see tenfold the thing that you receive now into the kingdom of heaven, man. It's gonna be well worth it at the end. You gotta see the bigger picture when you shall be persecuted. That's why the Lord said you shall be glad. All right.
I got a quick precept for you. This is an example. This is an example of. Example of somebody who Paul said they see me as an evildoer. This is an example, you know, he's saying, you know, you're gonna be persecuted, things that such, but the name of Yahweh Shah. Right? So this 2 Timothy 2, right? And I started at verse 9. You know, this is Paul writing a letter to Timothy, right? He's telling them things that says, right? I started verse 9. It says, wherein I suffer trouble as an evildoer, even unto bonds, you know. So he's trying to say he doing evil work. He's trying to say he evil places in the name of Yahweh Shah. He even threw him in jail. Right? So he said he went to bond. He said, but the word of Yahweh is not bound. He said, therefore I do all things for the elect sake. And they may also obtain the salvation which is in Mashiach Yahweh Shah with eternal glory. Right?
What you reading now?
2 Timothy 2.
It's a precept after the fifth chapter. That's why I asked.
We're going to go to the point. Oh, it's boom. I'm going to go to 2 Timothy 4, and I'm going to start at verse 6, right? Because Paul knew, even with Peter had said, I think 2 Peter or 1 Peter 1, when he said, basically said, while I'm in this tabernacle, you know, I'm gonna stir up, basically. But he knew, because Yahweh told him that, you know, he was gonna have to die for his truth. He knew he was gonna have to lay down. Even with Paul told him, right? He said, 2 Timothy 4:6 says, for I am not ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand, because he knew, you know, he was gonna be persecuted for the name of Yahweh Shah. If I'm not mistaken, Paul was beheaded. Them are martyrs for Yahweh Shah, right? He said, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept my faith. And it goes into this precept we had to talk about that crown. He said, therefore, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, not only me, but unto all of them also that love his appearing. Right? So, you know, you're gonna be persecuted, you're gonna be, so you really might be killed, things like that, but you gotta keep that faith to the end, because you gotta understand, it's an eternal crown is waiting for you, eternal life on the other side, you know, precious inside the Lord, that's the saint, as he paraphrased. Dying for the name of Yahweh Shah is an honorable thing, man. You know, you ain't there smiling when they trying to cross you out, you know, for the name of Yahweh Shah. You know that's the spirit dealing with you, because you got the precept, you know, them, the prophets and the apostles, they faced that before us, right? You grab that. You got that, Matthew.
I was just gonna say, roughly paraphrasing, I said, take not heed to things you'll say unless you right before you persecuted, right? Yeah, the spirit will speak for you, right?
You can start verse 11. Just a quick insight. So in this chapter, this one, Yahweh Shah telling the disciples to go into Samaria, but don't go into the way of Samaria, because at that time, you know, you had all those other nations that were brought into the land. You know, that's where the northern kingdom was dwelled, but they was going off. So all the other nations were brought into the land and whatnot. So you still had Israelites in there, but you had a lot of other nations in that land, right? Sorry, 16 you say? Yeah, you can start at 16, but I was giving insight, like, starting really at verse 6, where it was going into, you know, Yahweh Shah telling them, go on to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But once again, you had Israelites amongst those people, but you had those other nations brought into that land, where eventually the other king was pushed out, you know, later took a captive to the Syrians, and they later traveled into the Americas. But you can start at 16, though.
This is Matthew 10 and 16, right? Of course, red letters, Yahweh Shah speaking, right? It says, look, this is an NLT. It says, look, I am sending you out as sheep among wolves. So be as shrewd as snakes and harmless as doves.
So they say, wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove? Because you gotta, you know, you gotta be on point. Because you ain't gonna lie, to be real, Esau smooth. You know, if you watch these movies with these CIA agents, things and such, man, they're supposed to be on top of the roof right now watching everything we doing. You know, as soon as we leave here, man, somebody could be sitting in the back of your car, you know, and they'll make your car like you had a wreck the whole time. They done killed you way before you even left out the parking lot. Like, these people smooth, but you just gotta be on point. But they gonna have they got these ways, they got these tactics set up. Even like brother saying, even with your family trying to get you up, you know, you just gotta be on point at all the time. You gotta be wise as a serpent. A serpent is smooth. A serpent know how to creep up and get up on us. How Esau like to move, but through the spirit part, how about Shah Shah, we know his moves and gimmicks, so you know we prepared.
Like I said, in Ephesians 5 and 15, walk circumspect. You know, that word circumspect goes into you, right? Basically, like watching your surroundings, you know, being focused, stand on your feet, do these things.
Ready to take risks.
So y'all got that.
So that scripture, I think it's in Proverbs where we're talking about being prudent. You know what I'm saying? That's a prudent man foreseeth evil. Perfect paraphrase.
Prudent just means, you know, you think before you act. You know, you think before you move. Jake don't do that. Jake don't think before you speak, none of that.
Jake react before he think. Right? Think before you react.
You know, you could,
Verse 17, it said, Matthew 10:17, it says, "But beware, for you will be handed over to the courts, and will be flogged with whips in the synagogues."
And this point just made me, when I was looking at this, when the brothers reading, this point made me think of how, you know, ain't nothing new under the sun. So y'all was telling them around this at this time, you know, they're gonna go through these things. So imagine now, they gonna be giving you family members. A lot of people gonna be giving you up, right? A lot of people gonna be giving you up until, you know, until these people, until these courts. So they gave you house up, right? They gonna be giving you up to these people. These things you're gonna face, right? You're gonna face persecution. You're gonna face these things. But they before you get out here try to, like you said earlier, Tony Montana out here trying to shoot it out on things that said, nah, man, we harmless stuff. You know, Yahweh Shah gonna fight for us, man. He got us, right?
Yeah, real quick. I'm glad you brought it up. Remember the account with Peter and that lady? You know, he kept trying to tell Peter where they went. She was like, shit, he was with the Lord, you know, trying to give him up. But Peter he denied the Lord 3 times.
How should I told Peter, you have to deny me thrice. He was hurt me. But that goes into the precept. He got watching it, but that goes to the precept. That's what I earlier. No man have power over the spirit. You know, once it's ordained with the spirit, you know, this Yahweh ordained everything. Everything happened for a reason. You know?
And now you say that's a bad thing. Again, you know, it's being wise as a serpent. Marcus was a dove. They see you can account with David did the same thing. You know, he denied being King David. You know?
Hey, think about with Paul. Y'all gonna hurt a Roman citizen and they ain't done no wrong. You know, because us today, when we write on the paper, we don't write Hebrew Israelite now. You know, we know this. We write check African American. You know, if you do that, like you write Hebrew Israelite, they label you as a sovereign citizen. So basically, like your laws, your rights basically go away. Like they can treat you however. You know,
that's why when we like saying it like at the job or whatever case may be, like, damn, we have any religion or anything that we can go through. It's really a trick. It's really to trick your ass so that he really like, alright.
That's just tactics just to show that, you know, you just gotta be smart within the system, because we not in our homeland. You know, we still in captivity. You know, them slaves, you know, even though those slaves wanted to buck up or not, they knew they couldn't do too much because the master gonna go crazy. But this is Esau kingdom. He's not necessarily our master, but this Esau kingdom, you know, they got control of everything. You know, they got the judgment of everything right now.
They got the Caesar with the Caesar. You know, so it's still they do to abide in the kingdom.
Well, yeah, I was trying to tell them, you know, pay y'all taxes, do these things. You know, how should I even do these things? But you can read verse 18.
Matthew 10:18, it says, "You will stand trial before governors and kings because you are my followers. This will be your opportunity to tell the rulers and other unbelievers about it."
It made me the point how you say we brought up yourself when you say, you know, think not what you need to say in that time. At this time, you can't trip, you can't worry, because us being, you know, what Paul said at best in Philippians chapter 1, you know, he said, you know, what y'all doing these things to me is making other believers stand firm in the faith, because they understand that we can go through these things for the name of Yahweh Shah. So we face these things for us to, yeah, man. It's one of the brothers that did an AI. I know y'all probably seen it. They was trying to take the chip. They was like, nah, we good. You know, we get a Yahweh Shah. One of them, y'all see that? We had put a little AI up there. Khan had put an AI up. I was looking, I'm like, you know, the art crazy now how you create these things, but that's how it's supposed to be though. They looking at a lot of people behind them, right? They like, they take this chip, and the people like, nah, you know, we stand for Yahweh Shah. They shooting them right then and there. But more people start stepping up saying, nah, you know, it's just like the things we go through, you know, we gonna stand trial, punch people, but we ain't got to trip, because in that time, as Spirit tells us, the Spirit gonna tell us what we need to say, but ultimately it ain't for us to fold or give in, you know, because we gotta stand strong, we gotta contend for that faith, and contending for that faith is all the way through. But if you gotta go through persecution, beating, things of that sort, when you think about it, who did that before us? Yahushua. So what you think you ain't gonna face that for?
And that also gonna put fear into other people as well, right? And the one that go ultimately that go end up taking a chip, right? Which is gonna be 90-some% of the people, right? When they start seeing, you know, the elect or you know the one that refused to take it, and they see that the elect get beat up down, they're gonna be like, damn, that's the same one that refused to take the chip. And now when they say they have been destroyed, they say they're getting beat up into the chariot.
I was ready to put kind of this with Paul, right? I was talking about earlier, this Philippians 1, right? Verse 12. I thought verse 12 says, but I would ye should understand, brethren, and the things which happen unto me have fallen out rather into the furtherance of the gospel, because they trying to persecute Paul. People trying to figure out like, why they come at him for. What's going on with him? You know, and the words getting out into them. Oh, he teaching the name of Yahushua Yahushua, right? He says, so that my bonds are in Mashiach Yahushua. So that my bonds in Mashiach Yahushua are manifest in all the palace and all the other places. You know, Paul was traveling, so sometimes he'll write letters back into them, things like that, right? And it says, and many of the brethren and the Lord, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. So they seeing Paul go through these things, they seeing they want to come at Paul, things and such, and Paul still teaching the name of Yahushua. So now they ain't scared to speak up no more. Now they ready to teach the word. Now they ready to stand for the righteousness of Yahushua. And that's how it got to be, man. Everybody got to contend for that faith. I was talking to Dr. earlier, you know, the church tells that we are ambassadors for this truth. So when we carry ourselves, you know, an ambassador, somebody got a clothing brand and whatnot, everybody wants you to come wear their brand somewhere. They want you to show off they, things that say. Well, that's what we are for the truth, for Yahushua Yahushua. When we carry ourselves, when we move, we walk in the manner of Yahushua Yahushua. And you know, and other, Lord willing, other people see that, especially in those times, when those times hit hard, other people can see that. You know, things that say, and start to understand that, hey man, we don't gotta give in to these people.
The brother ain't got nothing. You pick up at that Luke 6 and 33. Y'all see it? Can you grab Psalm 37 and 12 from me? Can you grab Matthew 7 and 15 from me?
Luke 6, you said 33?
Luke 6 and 22.
We'll close up with these.
I'll finish. I'll go bring y'all like
Okay.
2 more, like 2-3 more pieces out there. I'll be quick.
Well, in Luke 6, I started verse 20. It says that he lifted up his eyes on the disciples and said, blessed be ye poor, for yours is the kingdom. Blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, for ye shall laugh. Blessed are ye.
So, basically just going through how we got there in lower state, or before we get to the greater things, like you got it. That's how it's 22. The point 22.
No, it says, blessed are ye when men shall hate you, they shall separate you from their company, shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake.
That's what these sellouts going to do. Like I said, they cast out your name as evil. Right, so that's what they're going to do. They're going to give you saying that, yeah, you preaching a doctrine of devils, and yeah, you saying this and that. You saying that Esau's the devil, and you saying that the white man is this and that. You saying that Babylon is going to be destroyed. They're going to be telling them all these names, right? They're going to try to produce you as an evil person, right? So you got that. That's it.
I'm going to read verse 23. It says, rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For like in the manner did their fathers to the prophets, you gotta understand, as I said, old men would speak well of you. So they don't want to be around you for these truth things that such as know, That's like the spirit dealing with you, man.
Said Psalm 37
and 12.
Let's book of Psalm 37, verse 12 to read. The wicked plotted against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth.
So that's what the wicked is going to be doing, right? These sellouts, these betrayals, things of that said, they're going to be plotting against the judges, right? They're going to be seeing what they can do for your downfall. They're going to see what they can be doing that can benefit them, that improves you, right? They might see on the news $50,000 reward if you find 1 out of the 3 of these men or 2 out of the 4 of these men, right? And $50,000, they're gonna be, oh, okay, so I know he got this type of car, I know that he been at such house, I know he like to go eat here. hey, you might, hey, so he gonna be giving the police, or they be going to the office, hey, reporting all these things, just try to give you up.
You know, Jake got that no snitch. You know, you got that no snitch statement. Them boys gonna be snitching proudly, man.
Proudly.
Turn him on his head like it's Robbie.
You seeing it now though with the rapper. Now the rapper, they trying to say it's cool. Yeah, now they trying to justify rap. But little they know, ratting came from Israel. That came from us. We supposed to rat on the. They came from us.
Not really righteously though. Like if somebody did something wrong, you see it.
Yeah.
But
Snitch.
y'all ever seen that movie? I think it's like Judas something. Yeah, movie like that. We were thinking that, you know, dude, he got in.
Federal agent.
Yeah, I think he tried to rob the dude's car.
Oh,
He ended up, they tell him, like, you know what, you ain't got to go to jail if you go in there and infiltrate this county. They basically made him kill the other dude, but he ain't never want to do it. You know, and it goes to how I was saying, you know, how they smart. They made him put poison in his drink. So, again, the crazy thing is, it's a true story. The man had died throughout the night. They still busted his grill and shot him up still. He was already dead. And guess what they did? They gave his wife compensation. So, you know, she cool now. Yeah, I gave her a few million. What she got? I got a couple. She got my good millions.
You got that Matthew 7.
She cool with that.
Y'all said can you grab Ephesians 5 and 15? And then can you grab 1 Corinthians 12 and 10? We'll finish out that 1 Corinthians 12 and 10. Will you grab that Matthew 7 and 15? We already brought this out, mama. You know what I'm saying? Go back to it.
So it's Matthew 7 and 15. It said, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
This is the third thing that Apostle Tahar had mentioned is what? Agents, right? And you know, these agents, they're going to be coming into you, like it says, coming to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves, right? So they be coming to you, might look like mighty men. Right, or they might look like an innocent young woman asking, what's up about big preacher? All the time, they know exactly who we are, they know all these things, right? So they finna go out and report it back to whoever the fuck looking for us or the agents, wherever the fuck it may be. Right, but they go come to you in those sheep's clothing, right? Thinking that they, you know, they one of us or they trying to be interested in what we preaching in, but the whole time they plan on giving us up.
They're gonna get to the point, and that's a sign right there. That's already showing you to get to that. Close to that family word, because they're gonna be convenient for us to be on the highways and byways no more. As long as YouTube, you know, we'll be able to do YouTube things, but even understanding that, you know, YouTube, the Wi-Fi, that'll try that IP address.
They'll check it out just like that.
It's getting to a point to where, you know, it ain't gonna be convenient for this to be on the highways and byways no more. It ain't gonna be convenient for us to be out and just out here teaching the word, teaching the truth. Because you're gonna have those ones who come in and market. So he might walk by us, they might come by a few times at the camp. See the cars we leaving in and put trackers on our cars. They just say like a lot of ways, you know. But really, how about y'all shot? He got it.
Protect it for sure. Put a guardian angels and all that. Got that Ephesians. You got to point that out.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 15. And it reads, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise.
Y'all see him walk this out earlier this morning? Yesterday? Today from yesterday. Man. So you gotta walk circumspectly, right? We mentioned this earlier, right? You gotta always be on your P's and Q's. You gotta be watching. You gotta have that spirit of discernment, right? Because you're going to the first briefing, right? So
quick. That word circumspect, it just means to look around, like to watch your surroundings, man. Like you know, of course, Jake watch your rearview mirror, but you know, pay attention to the people you work with, pay attention to your neighbors, pay attention to pay attention.
It be signs before everything, before shit happen, right? How you get the gut feeling, the signs, things of that such.
I got a precept for you real fast today. Ephesians 5. It's 1 Peter 5, verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour. So you gotta be sober, be vigilant, man. Vigilant, like you say, you know, have an open eye, man, looking around, watching your surroundings, looking left and right, man, making sure you know everything on point. You know, like the brother said, it's gonna be signs, things gonna be weird. Some odd, man, go ahead, like
trust.
You know, that's the spirit let you know. Like going to take where church play again, you really take risks. If things feel odd, to go in there, don't risk it. You know, shit feel different, don't take those risks. You already know. We in those last days where evil gonna, what they say, evil gonna increase, like a better word.
what's crazy is that next verse, verse 16, it says, redeeming the time for the days are evil. So it goes straight into it, but we can finish off in that first script.
Which we want to
12 and 10. That's just like the other day when on so-called New Year's, right? Folks trying to pop out, but shit, they stayed in the crib. Like shit, you could have risked getting pulled over, getting in the crib. Getting shot at. 4 people just got shot at Edison. Right? So, it be shit, little shit like that. Like shit, most all right, man, stay ass in the crib. Lay up, do whatever the case may be, right? Play the game, whatever, right?
this 1 Corinthians 12, I really started verse 4. For real.
Shit, whatever you want to start at. I'll go ahead and check your points, man.
So yeah, I started verse 4. It's close it out with this one. Yeah, I started verse 4, right? It said, now there, we was talking about this earlier as well. Now there are diversity of gifts of the same Spirit. There are differences of administration, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of operation, but the same power worketh in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit.
So you see how different brothers have different gifts, right? Different spirits and things in that sense, right? So that's why if you have a trouble or problem or something, you may can ask a brother, and that brother could probably be the solution to that problem, right? So you gotta because everybody has different gifts, right?
Another point we talked about as well, the talents. You got the one who got the talent, like the 25, why you gotta, I think you did let us know this a while back, take advantage of the talent, take advantage of the gift that Yahweh shall give you. When it goes to Matthew 25. This 1 Corinthians 12 and 10 says, to another, the working of miracles, to another, prophecy, to another, discerning of spirits.
All right, that's what I wanted, the discerning of spirits. You got to be able to discern things, right? And I thought that's one of my gifts because I can discern things before it even happens, right? Especially with these agents and things that say, you got to be able to discern these people, discern their spirit. You got to be able to question them. You got to question their spirit, right? People might say, yeah, they serve Yahweh, Yahweh. They might say they come from the tribe of Benjamin, or whatever the case may be. So then you might have to test their spirit, like, okay, so yeah, what's the RFID shit? Yeah, have we already been through Jacob's trouble, or like what's going on? You gotta see if they know the scripture or not. You gotta be able to discern their spirit. I forgot what scripture that is too. That goes to testing their spirit. But you can finish off front too. Your child spirit kind of shit.
We was out today. Got walked by. I'm like, boy, that's a. To his eyes, but that's a demon. That's a demon.
I'm telling you. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell, bro. You can tell.
Well, I started verse 10 again. It says, to another the work of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues. He can speak different languages. To another the interpretation of language.
Interpretation of tongues.
Interpretation of tongues, like I said.
You finna continue on?
Yeah, can I read out verse 12? It says, but all these work of that one, the self-same Spirit, divided to every man severally as he will. So to whom is given much is required. One had 10 talents, one had 5 talents, one had such and such. And you got little work of it, you got my shots out of part of you. And the point, read out verse 12, it says, whereas the body is one, it has many members. And all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Mashiach. And I really read that because it goes to, you discern and you see what it says. It's better to be mammon than to go into hell, man. So we all is one body. You can't have nobody a part of the camp, have nobody a part of around you that's poisoning the body, man. You can't have nobody around you that's not on that righteous path. If it's somebody around you that's not moving righteous, that's playing around, not doing the lessons, playing around with the work. If he ain't always in this thing, you got to peek there. You got to get rid of them. Because them will be the ones who will sell out. Them will be the ones who will go and do the weird shit, the bugged out shit against the truth.
So that's behind your back while the door's closed.
So it's better to be mammon than for the whole body going there.
Say the right hand offend you, you shall cut it off. Right in the paraphrase.
All right. That, Lord will, this camp was edifying. And again, until next time, we'd like to close out by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kadosh. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, and Shalom to hopefully live.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.